Good morning. Hope you can hear me. A little bit out of breath. I'm trying to walk my 30 minutes in. But yesterday we were talking about affirmations and what that means. And for me, when it comes to affirmations and mental health, I do a little bit of both. I mainly affirm myself through scripture, but then there's just some positive words that I use, just affirmation words like I am statements, or like this shirt, I am enough. Right? So what has happened in my life, even from childhood, sometimes people can put their negative connotations or how they feel about themselves truly, they will say those words to people that they are close to. And so what happens is sometimes, especially if this starts when you're young, you'll start to believe those negative words. Like if someone tells you that you're not going to be successful, or you're nothing, or you're not pretty, or you're not handsome, you're dumb, you're stupid. Sometimes people can take on those negative words and actually live through them. So now they've taken on a negative persona, which of course impacts self-esteem. So that's how some people develop low self-esteem. So I'm 1,000% certain that God didn't create any junk or mess when he created me. He already knew what the deal was about me before the seed was even planted in my mama's womb. And so there's been some times where someone has said something negative about me, and my comeback wasn't as quick like with a scripture, but I'll be like, oh no, that ain't what the Bible say about me, because I know the Bible doesn't say anything negative about me. So when I get some quiet time, I'll go find some scripture to reaffirm myself. So over time, I've just learned to start studying more scripture. So in the event, wait a minute, geez, they're like a snake. Wait a minute, let me come on over here. Okay, so I've just, sorry y'all. So I've just learned to reaffirm myself and study scripture. Um, Again, like my T-shirt was saying, I am. Yeah, I don't have it now, but I used to have a sticky pad, and I actually used just about half that sticky pad. I had stickies all over my mirrors, the one in my bathroom and the one in my bedroom, of I am statements, because I was really going through a tough time with low self-esteem. And for me, low self-esteem kind of also put me in, maybe the word is identity crisis. Yeah, yeah, that's the word. That's the word I'm looking for. I really was confused. Like, well, God, who am I? Where do I fit in? Because all my life I've never really fit in to any particular group or situation. So sometimes I would, like, just for example, my younger self, like I would do little silly things in school, like, try to be the class clown or something like that, so that I could kind of fit in with, quote unquote, the norm. And there was Eldris Whitfield and Miss Kelly Henry. She was my Sunday school teacher at St. Mark. And Eldris Whitfield, of course, was our elders. Well, in fact, she was my Sunday school teacher too as I got older, but both of those ladies had lots of wisdom. And they used to try to pour into me about being different and how it was okay for me to be different. But I was young then, so I didn't grasp the concept. I really didn't understand that what they really were essentially telling me is that God created you this way. It's okay. Because here I am. I was bullied and picked on a lot too. So I was very small in size, really skinny. And so I was born with these congenital issues impacting my vision. So I had these horrible glasses, lower. I couldn't see. That congenital issue, it does impact your vision. I'm still wearing glasses to this day. Much better glasses, but yeah. So that had an impact on my self-esteem. And then the other physical part, my back. I mean, I remember my lower back. Someone could literally take their fist and just put it in the middle of my back, and it would fit. And so that kind of pain for a child to have to deal with, chronic back pain, it impacted me mentally. Now at the time, I don't know these terms and words. I just know that as a kid, I was very sickly and I stayed tired all the time, especially mentally, because my brain would just kind of race all the time. Racing like, I wish this pain would go away. So my focus was more on the pain. I still got good grades, but yeah, I was very mentally fatigued. So here I am with a congenital issue that impacts my entire spine, my neck, my back, impacts my vision, and I have these horrendous glasses that people thought were horrendous also, so they picked on me. And so, yeah, good morning. I guess at an early age, I was having symptoms of depression. Of course, I didn't know that was the term to say depression. I just knew I felt sad, kind of isolated almost. I did have a few people in the neighborhood. I just loved them. So I would spend time with them. You know, I would play with them. But for the most part, a lot of the times, even if they were outside, I was inside. Yeah. I spent a lot of time inside, or either I spent a lot of time on the opposite end of Hillsborough Street with my aunt, Esther, or I spent time on Stanley Chapel Church Road with my Aunt Helen. And the reason I spent so much time with them is because my relationship with them, I can't explain it. They were more like grandmothers to me, more than aunts, you know? They always poured into me. They always told me that I was smart. They were just always there to support me. Y'all excuse me, that squirrel just jumped out the trash can to scare me. I almost took off running. But yeah, they were very supportive to me. I learned a lot from them. I learned a lot about life skills, you know, cooking, all kinds of stuff. I learned that stuff from them. And just the time that they spent with me helped me to some degree with my self-esteem. And then there was my Aunt Mary too, who lived in Goldsboro, and she would come by and see me, especially during the summertime on her way to work, or either my Uncle Wilbert would take me to her house, and she always poured into me. She was quiet, but whenever she spoke, her statements were always very positive and influential in my life. So again, I had that support to kind of help me when it came to self-esteem. But my reality was, even though they were there to help me, the tone was already set for me that I would just fail. Yep. Fourth grade teacher. Every day, a lady called me dumb, stupid. She called me a black buffoon. Not just me. She did other students that looked like me. She did us the same way. Especially, y'all forgive these lawnmowers loud this morning. But white students who their parents didn't have much income, treated them the same way. Our indigenous brothers, I want to say his name, Lord have mercy. Woo, she was something else to him. I'm telling you, it was horrible. The classroom setup was almost like I'm going to sit the white children who live in certain areas, I'll say more of the north side area. They're smart, their parents have money, so I'm going to sit them over here. And the black kids, well, I'm going to just put them wherever. I'll mix them in with the white students who their parents don't have a lot of income, and our indigenous brother, I'll just mix them up because I really don't care where they sit. And when she taught, she wasn't teaching us. She was teaching to the white students whose parents had money and they lived in affluent neighborhoods. So I guess at that point in my life, it really didn't matter to me if my aunt or Eldridge Whitfield or Miss Callie, it didn't matter if they poured into me. Because Monday through Friday, I was getting beat down every day. And so I remember, I think it was like my last few days of high school, and we had gotten our caps and gowns and our honor cords and all that kind of stuff. And I decided I was going to go back to my old elementary school. One, because my mom was working. She was driving a bus and working in the cafeteria then. And I wanted her to see, like, all of my cords and awards and all this kind of stuff, right? So I go to the bus, and lo and behold, there's my fourth grade teacher, a former fourth grade teacher. She says, "Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. I just knew you would make it." I said, "Well, that's funny." Because in fourth grade, up until my parents got the superintendent involved, you told me every day that I was dumb and stupid and I would never make it. You called me a black buffoon. Now today you're saying you knew that I would make it. And y'all, what was crazy? That lady was still treating students of color the same way. And I graduated in 94 from high school. She was still doing some of the same things. And I never understood. I never understood how she was able to teach all of those years. I remember my sister-in-law was talking about my nephew. Boy, I mean, she was going to get him too. She's talking about his handwriting and this, that, and the third. And I stopped her. I said, "Is Miss such and such his teacher?" She said, "Yeah, how did you know?" I said, "He's not lying to you. what you just described that lady was doing to me when I was in the 4th grade. And by that time, oh gosh, Lord, how old was I then? Definitely in my 20s. My nephew was in the 4th grade. That lady was still. I knew exactly who the teacher was based off the letter that my sister-in-law was reading. I said, you better go out to that school. You better get a conference going. I'm telling you, he's not lying. That lady is emotionally and mentally abusive. And sure enough, she went out there. And that's exactly what was going on. Parents really started talking then. So, I guess fast forward, even as I grew into adulthood, so many things have been spoken over my life in a negative sense. Shoot, I'm talking, I was in my 30s, 30s, maybe almost early 40s, and I was still told that whatever I did was never good enough. I was told that, and I was shown that multiple times as an adult. But I've had to learn to embrace the hurt and things that I have been through. Lord knows it was a process, because it ain't feel good. Lord knows it didn't. But by being able to embrace, now I am able to talk about it without actually tearing up and crying like I used to. Not even, shoot, maybe a year ago, ain't no way I would have been able to do a video and talk with y'all. But I know that this is part of my purpose. That I do know. Why? I don't know. I don't question God. I was a bit confused. Lord, you want me to say this? You want me, out of all people, to talk about mental health after everything I've been through, from every childhood and adult trauma? Are you sure? Are you sure someone that has been diagnosed with certain things related to anxiety and depression, are you sure? Because I know you don't want me talking to people. I'm still trying to get myself together. You know, he would always reflect back like, yeah, I want you to do it. Because there are other people who are going through the same thing, and they won't seek mental health treatment or resources because of the stigmas around it. But if they see you talking about it, that could make an impact or a change on their life. So here we are. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. Getting ready to walk back to this other side here. Get myself together. But yeah, y'all, reaffirm yourself every day. Doing so by renewing of your mind. That's what affirmation means for me. Renewing of your mind daily. Because the world isn't always nice, right? So it's important that we pour into ourselves. So it's important to study scripture too, so that you have something to pour back into yourself. Because there can come times where your prayer partner or whoever you reach out to whenever you might need a refill, they might be going through it themselves, you know? You never know. Or they might not be able to answer the phone at the time you call or respond back to your text message. So again, have you affirmed yourself today? Peace and blessings to you all. Hey, Jim. Take care of yourself.